Let me tell you something that happened to me and a few friends of mine once. But let me give you the introduction first. My name is Kelly, and I am now 17 years old. I kept this hidden for so long, but now it's time for me to tell you how this happened. This all started about 6 years ago. Me and my friends usually hang out at my house or at the park. Normally at home, we would just watch TV, mostly Cartoon Network, because we watched it for fun times. And if it means getting forced to watch that annoying Adventure Time when my little sister wanted to watch it with us. My sister Tanya is a total tomboy and secretly watches boys' shows. I don't know if Adventure Time counts as a boys' show, but anyways, at first we didn't like it, but when we see Princess Bubblegum turn into this ass-kicking princess, we were thrilled to not even mention she's not as bad as me and my friends had thought. For those of you who barely watch Adventure Time, Princess Bubblegum is the ruler of the Candy Kingdom. I hate to be a spoiler, but at the first on seasons 1 through 5, Princess Bubblegum was childish, fun, cute, and not to mention creative, and smart, kinda how similar my sister is, even though Bubblegum was just a typical everyday damsel in distress, although she was an annoying voice that was the main character. Finn finds it kinda attractive. But when she stopped with her childish on season 5, which resulted in her not noticing Finn and her human feelings towards her. One of my friends noticed that she was being close with Marlene, the vampire queen, and by close I mean kinda over lover close. We weren't exactly mind watching Princess Bubblegum kicking some ass on the show, even if my sister was there. Things were the same until that day came. It was about 2 weeks before Halloween. My friends and I were walking to my house for a sleepover, discussing what we were going to do and be for Halloween. I mean, come on guys, who says you're too old to dress up for Halloween? When we arrived home, we placed what we needed for the sleepover floor before I closed the door. Not long after that, my sister arrived home and entered. We did our usual greets and shit before getting to our usual routine. It was now 6:30 p.m., and me and my friends were ready to watch a brand new episode of Adventure Time episode, which was weird because normally new episodes air on Thursday, and it was only a Tuesday night. Truth be told, we were going to kind of watch some Adult Swim, like any typical adult would on these nights like this. I mean, who wouldn't? Me and my friends already sat on the couch to make ourselves comfortable as Adventure Time intro played, and as soon as the intro had ended it skipped to the time title card, which read The Bubblegum Snap, which seemed like kind of a title. It showed a picture of Princess Bubblegum looking rather fair and different, and not in a good or different way, but in a twisted way. The background was pink and black, like liquid oozing and dropping onto the floor, with Princess Bubblegum in the middle, looking like she was in a zombie apocalypse. Some heavy metal music was playing in the background when the title card ended and cut to the episode where Finn and his best friend dog Jake helping the princess out for a formal party of some sort. "Hey Bubblegum, what's this event for?" Finn asked curiously. "Well, Finn, let's just say it's a special celebration," Princess Bubblegum replied with a slight of happiness yet secretive tone. A time title card flashed up and it said 1 month earlier, and before it cut to Princess Bubblegum, pasting around the floor while sighing. But when she gets news about the new Ice King kidnapping Willowberry Princess, Slime Princess, and a few others I keep forgetting in for ransom, saying if Princess Bubblegum doesn't marry him, the princesses will be frozen forever. She was starting to get fed up with should I inform Finn and Jake about this? Says a banana guard with a deep concerned look on his face. "No," Princess Bubblegum yelled so suddenly. "Why not?" the banana guard asked. I'll have to handle this by myself, and besides, Finn and Jake would need a break from their rescues and such," Princess Bubblegum would say, not wanting to have Finn and Jake overwork themselves. That's when the princess dismissed the banana guard and looked out the window. "This has gone long enough, and this has to end right now," Princess Bubblegum said with a slightly irritated yet determined tone. That's when things got dark. We saw Princess Bubblegum cut her hair and made herself look like a punk emo from an apocalypse, though through the black boots were kind of similar to Marlene the Vampire Queen's, only the Vampire Queen's boots were red when she first appeared in the pilot episode. Bubblegum cut her bubblegum pink hair and dyed part of it with black licorice stuff. She even got some girly-looking swords and drew broken hearts on her cheeks, with one in the black and one in pink. As much as we can admit, she looked pretty cool and awesome. Something that told us that we were going to get pretty darker than this. It then cut to a late night at the Ice King's kingdom, which to us was pretty cheesy, because we've seen better kingdoms than that, and even the other ice palace from the movie Frozen was better than the Ice King's. We could hear the Ice King babbling about Princess Bubblegum finally being his queen, which could be very annoying. But the Ice King laughed as the princess were terrified, as they usually were in these episodes. But that's when the lights of the Ice King's kingdom suddenly turned off, like in a power outage kind of way. "Hey, who turned out the light?" The Ice King shouted as he tries to find out where the light switch is at. But he placed a hand against the wall and he had felt something, as if it was fresh and sticky. That's when the moonlight came into the view, and he looked against the wall and felt something. And the Ice King was in full shock of what it was. Fresh blood. He gasped at the sight of one of my friends, and he asked, "Who is it?" We then realized who it was, and the Ice King screamed as two bloody corpses of his beloved penguins. A bloody message was written on the walls that stated, "You are dead." Things got so intense as soon as we start seeing someone in the window shadows freeing the other princesses. They didn't have time to see who it was. They just ran out assuming Finn was saving them. But when they were going to pass Finn and Jake's house, they were surprised to see Finn and Jake just helping Finn's new but dangerous girlfriend and the Flame Princess and their flaming flower garden or some sort. They got confused as they looked at each other. "Finn, how did you get here so fast?" Wildberry Princess said, while she was scratching her berry head. "What do you mean? I was with the Flame Princess the whole time," Finn said in confusion. "We got kidnapped, didn't you hear?" the Slime Princess said. "No, Slime Princess, I haven't. No one told me you're Jake," Finn said as he pointed the Flame Princess, who was just as confused as Finn. That was when one of the princesses realized something. "Hold on a minute, girls. If Finn's been with the Fire Princess the whole time, then who was it that freed us?" A princess with a ring on her finger with confusion and worry. "Did you guys hire someone else to do the rescuing?" The Flame Princess just asked, looking at Finn. "No, I haven't, and even if I did, me and Jake would know who it is," Finn replied, shaking his head. "You do make a good point there, Finn," Flame Princess said with a look of approval. "You both go ahead with the Flame Garden. I'll escort these girls back to their kingdoms," Jake suggested to Finn to the Flame Princess. "That's real nice, Jake, but are you sure?" Wildberry said with concerned but yet polite tone. "I'm sure, Wildberry Princess. Besides, I gotta get these two some privacy," Jake said, pointing at Finn and the Flame Princess, which caused Finn to roll his eyes. Meanwhile, it cuts back to the Ice King castle, finding more of his penguins dead. They were mangled, was slain with the sword, their lungs, heart, and all other organs were spilling out of their open wounds. Me and my friends felt like vomiting at the sight of this. Why would it show off this kind of stuff? There were some episodes of kids shows that were so dark, but this was just downright scary. The Ice King was in full panic mode, and at the sight of more of his penguins dead, I actually do feel sorry for him, because those penguins were like his own children. But then the Ice King turns to see one of the penguins, which I think his name was Gunter, and was hanging from the ceiling with a noose tied to his neck. His eyes yanked out from his skull and his floppy arms torn off as his heart was yanked. The Ice King was at the verge of tears as he wailed Grunter's name over and over. He was sobbing so badly that he failed to notice footsteps from behind him getting louder and louder. Behind him stood a silhouette of a female standing over him with red glowing eyes. Before the Ice King could stop crying at the silhouettes of the female, raised her sword and sliced the Ice King's head. We froze as we saw Ice King dead. "Off with your head," said a familiar but twisted voice. We all knew right away it was Princess Bubblegum who was doing this. I mean, dude, she's literally killed the Ice King, and we can admit that it was pretty cool, yet scary at the same time. Princess Bubblegum picks up the head of Ice King, and cartoon-like blood started dripping down the beard and oozed from his neck. With a toothy grin, Princess Bubblegum lifted the head of the ice king, cackled like a madwoman. Finally, it's finished! We can all have peace now in our lives! Princess Bubblegum said before she cackled again. It then skips to a scene where in the ballroom, like it did in the beginning of the episode, we could hear everyone talking about the Ice King was suddenly dead at night. Hey, PB, did you hear about the Ice King's death? Finn asked. Oh yeah, I heard, but never mind. That helps me with the Decker, please, Finn. Princess Bubblegum said sweetly, but Finn took a minute to process everything before him, and he shrugged and proceeded to help with the party. I wonder whoever killed the Ice King. Well, on the bright side, the side of the land is at peace. Finn then said to himself while walking. Who do you think killed the Ice King, Finn? Jake asked. Not really sure, Jake. I really asked every princess in one kingdom, yet they don't know who it was that killed the Ice King. Even Marceline didn't even know who killed him, Finn said with a puzzled look on his face while rubbing his chin. Then, on the cue, Lumpy Space Princess floated towards him. Hey, LPS, you were there when the other princesses were kidnapped, right? Finn asked. The purple Lumpy Princess. Well, yeah, Finn, Lumpy Space Princess said with her usual teenage voice. Did you get a glance at who rescued you? Finn asked. No, not really. The room was, full of dark all of a sudden, and we were we couldn't see it who had freed us. We all assumed that it was just you, at least until we saw you at the house with Jake and that flame chick, Lumpy Princess Space said, with her usual teenage tone that had a hint of uneasiness. Not soon after that rumor was spreading through in the land, it was unknown assassin that killed the Ice King, yet he or she let the princesses live. Let's just say Bubblegum snaps, Princess Bubblegum mumbled with a low, sinister grin while everyone was talking, and as it panned outside to the castle, the freshly decomposing head of the Ice King was on a stick. The features were disgusting. I cannot begin to tell you how horrid it was. The episode then ends after showing the head of the Ice King. We were all mortified yet disgusted at this. The next morning we were barely awake by my sister and asked what's wrong. I told her that I was fine and we just had a night in the sleepover. And then I wondered about the episode for a while, before I heard it from a few people who had watched the episode of Adventure Time. I heard it was taken down due to it being dark and scary, which was a huge relief to us, but on this very day, I can never forget the episode of Adventure Time out of my head. If it was possibly shows up later, I would advise you not to watch it, but if you do, okay, but do not say I did not warn you. It's been about 6 years now, and I wanted to get this off my chest. Thank you for listening, and stay safe. That was an Adventure Time Lost episode called The Bubblegum Snaps, a creepypasta on Adventure Time written by BadHarleyluck13. My final thoughts on this story? Well, this was actually quite of a messed up creepypasta, but it was definitely a pretty good one in my honest opinion. The whole thing of its own self of, Princess Bubblegum, being the one who kidnaps, basically who kills the Ice King, and, she was, pretty much the unknown assassin that didn't want to really reveal that he was the one who did it. It honestly was a pretty interesting concept for a story. I mean, it's a pretty good story, I'm not gonna lie. Now, this is on DeviantArt, which I will be leaving a link in the description down below for any of you guys who are, curious as to what it is and you guys want to listen to. So, yeah. Anyways, I personally think that this was it's a cliched plot line, but I will say that it kind of worked well with Adventure Time. Now, this might be just an unpopular opinion, but I could honestly see Princess Bubblegum doing stuff like this. Doing something like this to get her revenge on the Ice King. I mean, her being secretive and not revealing that she was the one who did it to everyone else, it's actually quite interesting, but I can also see that being, the case because, Adventure Time has done stuff like this in the past, crazy stuff. You're not gonna believe it, but she has done crazy stuff in the past, although I have not watched Adventure Time in like a really long time, so there's that. But with all due reality, I honestly really thought it was a pretty good concept for a story. But although I know it's cliched, yes, but I honestly still thought it seemed fitting for this story, involving Princess Bubblegum, wanting to get away with murder of the Ice King. I mean, in all due reality, I have not watched it in a while, so I can't really say, hey, what episode of, Adventure Time I've seen, because, I haven't watched it in a while, but I did remember watching it at one point, and it honestly was a pretty interesting concept for the show. Although, in all due reality, I thought this one was a story that, yes, it was cliched, but it was pretty good at the same time. Now, the grammar was good for most of it, although I did spot a couple grammatical errors, and I also did spot a few things such as, the whole story is in one paragraph yet again. It was a little bit hard for me to read, but I eventually was able to read it, though. I was still able to read it without a problem, but, it was kind of hard for me to read it in one paragraph, so there's that. But other than that, this one was actually a pretty interesting story. I honestly thought it was a good concept for a story, although it is seemed cliched and all, yes, but I still found it to be pretty fitting for this story. Like I said, that's just my opinion, but if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. And I do want to say right now to BadHarleyluck13, this one was a pretty interesting story. I still thought it was good, although it was not perfect, but it was definitely one of the good fewer creepypastas that actually did manage to do something good. I mean, this one, yes, I know the concept may seem cliched, but I still thought it was pretty neat. To be honest, I thought it was a pretty neat, well-made story. So, that's just my personal opinion on that. So, anyways, like I'm going to say, this is just simply my own personal opinion. And if you happen to disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas. This is just simply my own personal thoughts. Besides the story being in one paragraph, being confusing to read, but it was still a pretty interesting concept for a story, although I really wish that the paragraph structuring could be fixed, like I said, but other than that, it was still a pretty interesting storyline, but although, yes, I know it may seem cliched, but it honestly still fits well with this story. Anyways, with that being said, and that being the case, what did you guys personally think of this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. I'm the Lion Queen. I want to thank you so much for watching today's episode, and if you're new to my channel, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro, because I'm out.